Hi there, my name's Greg from Canada. Today I'm going to take you through just a couple of examples of dynamic compression within a project. I'm going to do one example of corrective on a bass guitar track, and then I'm going to do something a little more extreme and a little bit creative with another plugin on some drum tracks. So let's head over to Pro Tools. Okay, so here we have our project. As you can see, there's a bass guitar, some drums, and those are what we'll be working on. If you look at the bass waveform, you can see it's a fairly even performance. However, there are some moments where it's quite a bit louder, and we're going to smooth those out really quickly here with the use of a compressor. So we go over to the mix view, add a compressor. This is the one that just comes with Pro Tools. And the first thing I always do is set everything to 0 and just have a listen. So there's the quiet part, and there's a loud. See, it's quite a bit louder, so we want to even that out a bit. First thing we do is set our threshold. Go back to the start. I want the threshold to be slightly above the quietest notes, or near the top of them. So they're not compressed, but the louder bits that go over are. That looks pretty good. Next I want to move my ratio up. I'll say 4 to 1. We don't want it to drop off or cut really sharply. We want it to sound pretty smooth because it is a bass guitar. Next thing we'll do, we'll set the attack for around 5 milliseconds or so. That way a little bit of the transient will come through, so it does sound natural. It doesn't sound like too smooth. So you do hear a little bit of the attack. And the release, we'll set, we want the release to come down, I don't know, you just have to really play with it. You don't want it too fast, or else you get like a weird pump feel to it, but you don't want it to go too long also. But I mean, we'll set it at about 3/4. And the knee we want to make pretty soft too, because that adds another element of smoothness. As you can see, that affects it quite a bit on the display and audio. So now it does sound a lot more even to me. So what we're going to do is raise the gain a little bit so we can get a little bit more volume. There we go, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, next we're going to do something a little more extreme. We're going to add this plugin from Sound Toys called the Devil Loke onto the drums here. And as you can see, it doesn't have the regular parameter names. It's got these stylized ones, crush, crunch, darkness, and mix, and they just kind of describe the effect that each one of these parameters will do. Basically what it does is it pushes the volume and the levels of the different algorithmic parameters that they have programmed in here to introduce certain overtones and create certain types of distortion that give it these sort of qualities. And it's kind of a neat effect. It makes a really gritty, dirty sound, which might not be the best for this recording in particular, but we'll just use it as an example anyway. So we'll mute the bass, and then we'll have the drums play through without this first. You can see it's pretty standard, we got a shaker. Cool. Now let's add the Devil Loke. Put a lot of it in the mix. This darkness kind of flattens the sound a little bit. crunch starts to distort it. Same as the crush, you can really start to hear the low end pump up a little bit. Very cool. Almost gives it a little tinny sound, like it's in a really metal room or something.